When you buy a TV like the Samsung S95F right here, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and in fact, there are some really ultra shitty things about this TV. And today I'll be showing you all of the absolute deal breakers and worst things about the Samsung S95F. So let's get it started by showing you this lovely little nugget right here. That's the styrofoam that comes out of the box. Because of the way the bezel is cut, you literally have it happen to where it gets stuck in between the bezel, all the styrofoam that you can't get out. And that is so thin, you're gonna need like a needle or something to pluck and or pull it out. Very, very, very irritating, especially because when you look up at the top, the bezel starts to get thinner. So it's almost like the bezel's really thin at the top, and then it almost starts to separate a lot wider down here, which I think is just fucking stupid. It doesn't make sense. Like, it makes it so hard to get anything out of there, and I just don't understand why they would do that. So that's my absolute first gripe for the worst things, and it's not just on one side of it, by the way. I also have one down here as well. It is absolutely fucking vexing when I do see it, and I'm going to try to find a way to get it out. But again, you have to see that. The other thing, obviously, is the matte finish screen. Nobody that I know of likes the matte finish screen. It comes in handy sometimes. Like right now, I have the flash on my cell phone on, and you know, okay, great, it's just like a little light source, but I mean, come on. Most people want a glossy screen, and Samsung is just tone deaf on this and not listening at all. Now, as we're doing this video, we just got a notification that we're going to be getting an update. Enter the next thing I can't stand. The moment this thing goes online, whether auto updates are on or off, it will literally push an update that even if you furlough for later, it will literally come back. So there's no getting out of updates on this TV. Again, I say it every year, and every year I'm seen as the only person to say or mention anything about it. Now, because I'm not particularly impressed with the S95F and I already have an S95D, I don't really care if I do the update. So we'll see what changed from 11.25, the old firmware version, to the brand new 10.42, and we will be reviewing that as well because what the fuck, why not? So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I just don't like the lack of transparency about what they're changing. What the fuck is the point of the update, right? They don't tell you any of this. So I, again, don't really like the limited aspect of that. Now, again, we're waiting for the update. We'll come back after the update, which should install fairly quickly, but again, I'm not gonna make you sit through it. Now, fortunately, with the new update, I just had it installed. You can access game mode finally on PC, which is really good. Again, doing my best to make it as quick as possible to analyze what has changed. Where before, it would just be locked to PC, and you'd have either entertain or, you know, the standard way. It was like entertain and standard, I think, and they both looked horrible. Not that this looks much better though, but at least you have access to game mode in the full game mode, so you have auto and all that good stuff. You have RPG, RTS, FPS, original, custom 2. So you have your presets in game mode, which is good. Finally, they fixed that bullshit glitch. Wonderful, fantastic. You still can't use Game Motion Plus for whatever stupid ass reason. I don't really understand it. I mean, I don't really like the way that they go about, again, their picture quality this year. It is very, very flat. I mean, very, very flat. And if you turn off game mode and you say, I don't want to use game mode, go right ahead. You can do that. But then you're going to be right back in that same boat that I experienced where, again, it's a very blue, very ugly, very shitty picture. And again, I really wasn't joking. It's literally entertain and graphic. These are your only two modes. Graphic is the most washed out piece of horse shit I've ever seen. And freaking entertain is just really blue and just as bad as all the other modes. I don't know who this looks good to, and I don't know how you release a TV looking this poorly. It literally looks so very bad. I mean, just going through the settings here, this is not ideal at all. And it's stuck on the coolest color temperature. Now you can leave it on standard, which looks a little bit better. The other two just have a lot of green in them, so you're gonna have to do some white balance calibration to get that green out. It's just not great. I mean, and that's really like being nice as I can. Like, it's just not great. And you really don't have access to pretty much any of the post-processing effect features, like, again, motion processing. So that's not great. So you're gonna have to figure out how to turn off this entertain or graphic mode because it defaults your HDMI setting to PC only or game mode. Fortunately, now at least we have game mode, but it's still not great. The reason I say it's not great is what happens if you don't want your HDMI to always register as a PC? The only way around that is to rename it to a different type of device. This year, the renaming system is just fucking stupidly broken. In the past, literally last year, all you had to do was go down to the device, hit edit, and it was good to go. And this year, that seemingly is nowhere to be found. Like, I genuinely don't think the camera will ever show you how shitty this TV is. These, again, are the default values when you talk about the graphic and entertain modes. I mean, literally, this is graphic and this is entertain. Entertain looks a bit better, but it's just because they add a lot of blue and it's very blue and it starts to look a bit more vibrant, but it's not accurate by any stretch of the imagination. And then the most annoying thing is, okay, you say graphic is just a piece of shit mode. We're never going to use that fucking thing ever. Let's go into AI mode, right? Because this brand new AI shit that they're talking about this year has got to be amazing. You click on AI mode and this is what your picture looks like. I fucking shit you not. I shit you not. This is what it looks like. It is absolutely miserable. And this is something that I've been dealing with for the longest time with this particular television. Now, I know what you must be thinking. If I just open up my menu and I scroll all the way over here, again, these are our devices that we have connected, there should be this tab called Edit. That should solve all my problems because I should be able to go over here and I should be able to edit the picture mode that I'm having a problem with. Except all it does is let you move it up or down. That's literally the only thing that you can do. And if that's not good enough for you, oh fucking well, that's all you're gonna be able to do. Literally all you're gonna be able to do is this. I kid you not. I wish it had more features. So then how do you rename it? Well, honestly speaking, I truly don't know, because this is how it's supposed to go down, okay? You're supposed to be able to hover over all of these different little icons, and when you hover over it, you're supposed to be able to change things once you're in the edit option. You can choose edit, and then once you select the item you want to edit, all you can do is literally move it left or right. This is the only function it gives you. I wish I was joking. And then after you're done, you only have remove. Last year you had the option to edit and rename the HDMI input, where this year that feature is gone entirely. What this means is the viability and usefulness of the screen is cut literally in half. I mean, in half. It is not even remotely as useful as it used to be, because if you are locked into just PC as the way it's going to read it all the time, and it can't be a console or anything else, and you can't change its behavior, the TV will only ever let you be a game mode, or it will only ever let you be a PC. This fundamentally means you will get never any kind of motion, smoothing, or extra processing to make the picture look better, meaning that flat shit you saw a minute ago is all you're gonna get. It's such bullshit that I cannot speak strongly enough against this TV specifically when we talk about being for gaming, because no the fuck it's not. If you don't have freedom of control to be able to do what I love to do personally, where you can go into 1440p gaming, lock your FPS at 60 FPS, upscale to 4K, so that way you have 4K 60 gaming with ultra textures and resolutions, what are you even doing with your life? Because I'm sorry to say, I don't give a damn if I could do 144 Hertz at the lowest fucking settings my graphics card has to offer. For that, I would stick with piece of shit gear and I would just play piece of shit graphics. I don't want that. So that's where this is so bad for the high-end to mid-range gamer that wants better. You're just not going to get it on this TV. And that really is like numero uno for me personally as to why this TV would never be used as a gaming TV for me outside of maybe a fucking console. Because this TV is truly worthless in every aspect of the word for that reason alone. And before anybody gets the bright idea to say, hey, why don't you just go down to the bottom of the screen? I'm at the bottom of the screen. There's literally nothing you can do at all. Nothing you can do but change preferences and other pointless things. Look at a bunch of stupid things that don't really matter to me personally. I just genuinely cannot get around the inability to name your devices. And if you want to get slick and you want to try to like be fancy and select this and maybe try to rename it from here, you can do nothing. So the moral of the story is simply put, there isn't a setting in this TV that's going to be able to offset that inconvenience alone, because that is probably the most major inconvenience of this entire television. Your best bet is to use game mode or the freaking graphics mode. And again, emphasis on your best bet is probably just to rock game mode, because if you're on PC, that's really the best it's going to get. It's not going to get any better. You're not going to get anything extra out of it. And that still looks like absolute horseshit, as you can clearly see. So again, this TV is one of extreme finicky nature, very washed out, and you're going to have a shit ton of experience to get any kind of picture worth your time. That's why I rate this TV as lowly as I do, and I don't recommend it, even though I own one. I don't particularly recommend it though, not for a PC gamer at least. Now for watching movies and other things, it'll be generally fine, but you're almost immediately better with the S95D, as I've said before, and just using this product has just been nothing short of stressful, because you're trying to find the next level that just never fucking comes. And I think, again, for everybody that feels like, again, this TV has any real leg to stand on, I would, again, go out on a leg. Even though I'm not particularly fond of what Sony is doing nowadays, I would say even the Bravia 8 Mark II is probably going to be better than this, because you more than likely can rename your inputs, giving it more versatility than this thing. It's just not versatile enough. And I think when you really peel back the layers as to who this is, I guess, only good for a console gamer. Again, PC gamers are kind of shit out of luck. My keyboard crashing to the ground, as you can clearly see. Gotta love it. A lot of fun. But I'm telling you guys, man, it's really irritating, because when you have a nice rig like what you see in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, going all crazy with the RGB lights, you know, you spend all this money on this nice rig, you want to take advantage of it, and I just don't see that happening here at all. So what I'll do is I'll just tell you, simply put, there are things that suck about the Samsung. The next thing that I can't show you are the speakers. The speakers are very weak, and I think those are also, again, in line with some of the worst things about this. All in all, man, I just would call it at just being a lot of potential, but it falls short. It really does. This live translate feature, by the way, if you were buying this because you got excited and you thought maybe you were going to watch something like an inbuilt app like Crunchyroll, and it was going to translate everything on some things, maybe if you were going to watch YouTube videos, it was going to translate and you don't have to turn on subtitles. Nope. You're going to have to turn that on yourself if it has it, and if it doesn't have it, you're kind of SOL, because live translate literally only works for broadcast through an antenna. Who the fuck watches through an antenna anymore? Like, literally, who in the actual fuck? I don't know. I don't know a soul alive that knows or does that. So this TV, frankly, is bullshit. Now, let's see how many other manufacturers can beat this bullshit over the years, or if they just go down the same road, which is why I have this TV as a reference point, as quite frankly, one of my least favorite QD OLEDs. I literally unplug this thing and sit it up against a fucking wall. A $2,500 TV, I just sit it up against a fucking wall because I'm that unpleased with it. That should tell you everything you need to know about Samsung with what they've done this year. Let me know what you think about the S95F if you have it, and if you're a PC gamer and maybe I'm bugging. Maybe you figured out how to rename it. I will shout you out if you can figure out how to change the HDMI inputs, and then I can change the whole review dynamic of this. But so far, out of every feature I've looked in, the shit is just missing. And we'll go ahead and investigate what the new firmware updated. Maybe we'll do a video, and the next video will probably be about that. But this is basically going to conclude the worst things, the deal breakers for the Samsung S95F that I know about. But if you know of any others, leave them down below. Thanks for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.